Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
If you're gonna dream it big, 'cause someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, 'cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Why, hey there, my fabulous listener. Welcome to another episode of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. This is episode 246. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know there are lots of podcast choices out there, and I really do appreciate you making my podcast one of them. If you are enjoying this podcast, I would love for you to take a screenshot and share it on your socials and tag me, because that would be super cool to be able to follow your business journey a little bit like you get to follow mine by listening into this podcast. Of course, you can find the show notes and all the links that I mention in this podcast at socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/246. Did you get a chance to listen into last week's episode? So last week, I actually had Emma McMillan from Emma McMillan Copy come on the podcast, and she chatted to us all about being a better writer of copy. She had a little challenge in there for us, which was super cool. If you did listen, I hope that you did her challenge. And if you didn't listen, then head back there and have a little listen to her challenge. And also, I really loved how she just gave some really easy tips on how we can all become better writers of copy, and making copywriting simpler, which of course you've got to love on the Small Business Made Simple podcast. That conversation was episode 245. So head back there and listen to that when you're finished here, if you haven't already. Today's podcast episode is actually a plea for you and to all small business owners. My plea is done both out of love and, if I'm completely honest with you, a little frustration. Mostly love, but yes, I think that we can all do a little bit better than what we're doing. If you follow my Instagram at all, you may have seen a story that I did last week that alluded to the same frustration. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give a shout out to this week's sponsor of the podcast, which is Cloud House Consulting. Imagine working with someone who loves your numbers. Think less stress and 100% support. Think Bronwyn and the team at Cloud House Consulting. Bronwyn was actually a guest on my podcast way back on episode 158. So if you haven't listened to that one recently, head back there and have a listen. It was all about 3 reasons why you should keep an eye on your numbers. And I know numbers is something we tend to gloss over in business, so it's a really good opportunity to think about your numbers. It's a great episode. Of course, they have a team to help you master the basics over at Cloud House Consulting, but they also cover other stuff as well, just not all about mastering the basics. If you head to their website, which is cloudhouse.consulting, you'll see that Bron has a really cool book over there, an ebook called Kitchen Table Empires, because we all know that we are literally building empires around our own kitchen tables. So I love the title of that book. The ebook is actually a reference guide with everything to do with business, including GST registration, employment basics, cash flow and budgeting, all sorts of things that I know a lot of small business owners would be after. So go and check out the ebook. Go and check out Cloud House Consulting. You can find it at all the W's, cloudhouse.consulting. So you might be asking, Jen, why are you frustrated? Well, let me tell you a little story. So, I write a lot of blogs and social media posts for other small businesses. It's not something I necessarily offer as part of my service, but it is something that I find myself doing a lot lately through both my e commerce business that I have, which is spendwithus.com.au, and as part of being a member of my local business chamber as well. I cannot tell you, though, how many times I am attempting to write a blog or an article or a social media post to promote a small business on my platform or from my town, and I cannot get enough information from the internet to do so. There's just not enough information on their website, and that's even if they have a website. Or is there enough information on their social media, such as Facebook and Instagram? I just can't find the basic information like who the business owner is, when the business started, where is the business located, and don't even get me started when I'm trying to find a photo of the actual business owner or their team or the front of their building if they are a bricks and mortar. It is almost impossible. And it is causing me a lot of frustration, so much so that I'm making a podcast episode about it. I really, really hope, with hand on heart, I'm not talking to you. I hope that if I needed to write a blog or a social media post about your business, then I could find all the basic information, find some lovely high res photos of you and or your team to complete that actual exercise of writing that blog or that social media post. If not, I'm 100% talking to you then. Human to human marketing is something that I talk a lot about in my life as a marketer. Human to human marketing is just so vitally important to your business because it gets customers who keep coming back time and time again, customers who refer business to you. They've been able to get to know, like, or even love and trust you. They are just 1000% not able to do this if you're never showing up for them online, which is where my passion for human to human marketing comes from. If you're not sharing stories with them, if you're not letting them into your world and into your business, then they just can't build that relationship with you and become part of your community. So if your marketing isn't working, which is probably, a whole different subject to what we are talking about today, but if your marketing isn't working for you, then I would ask you to embrace human to human marketing and see how that can change your business. I guess one argument that you could perhaps come at me with if you're a small business owner who operates in a small town, and you don't feel the need to have an online presence, because perhaps you're busy enough or you think that your customers or your clients aren't on social media or on the internet. But really, who do you know who's not on the internet? Social media, maybe, but who's not on the internet? Who's not using Google or, a search engine to do things, to find out things? I don't think there's anyone who's not doing that. I don't care how small your town is or how small or big your business is. That's just not right. So I don't think you can actually come at me with that argument saying I don't need an online presence because my clients aren't online, because they are. They're yet at least using Google. But I know that I'm probably not talking to you because you're listening to a podcast. You're listening to a business podcast. So if you are serious enough in your business to listen to a business podcast to learn more, to get better at what you do, then you're probably not the person I'm necessarily talking to today. Although I think we could all improve our online presence and our social media presence. Because, like it or not, I think we all need to really embrace more humanness in our marketing. So, with the argument squashed that you don't need to be online because your clients aren't online, because again, take social media out of the equation. Do you really know someone who doesn't use Google? I think you'd be hard pressed to find a high percentage of your clients that wouldn't use it. Yes, there'll be some, but a high percentage we're talking here. So, how can you actually up the ante on your social media? Oh, no, sorry. How can you actually up your ante for your online presence? You know, get more and be more human online. It's a really great question. I'm glad you asked it, or I'm glad I asked it for you. So I thought I'd share with you just 3 simple ways that can help with my frustration of not being able to find enough information about small businesses to help them and promote them. But also, maybe it's a bit of a nudge for you today listening to this podcast to make sure you are doing all 3 of these things. So the first thing, I guess, is to make sure that any photos that you're actually uploading online are actually attributed to you. So that Google actually knows that's a photo of you or that's a photo of your business. By making sure that any photos that you upload online are named you. It seems so simple. Um, but if you are uploading photos, for example, that might be saved on your computer as like image 97259 and not Jen Donovan sitting on a fence surrounded by her chickens, then Google doesn't know who's in that photo. Google doesn't know anything about that photo because that photo, as far as Google is concerned, is just image 9725 or whatever I said. But if you actually name the photo on your computer before you upload it, then that helps with Google. Yes, I understand that AI is probably changing the landscape a little bit here in that, we have this technology now where facial recognition is coming in and it could probably recognize the face depending on where you're actually uploading it. I certainly, something like Facebook can actually tag you in photos because it recognizes you. But perhaps it doesn't because there's not enough photos of you out there. But anyway, my suggestion still stands. Make sure that you are naming the photos that you are putting up there, saying who is and what is actually in the photo. So whether you're uploading your photos to your website, someone else's website, your socials, your Google account, name them. Give yourself a bit of Googleicious love by making it super simple. I actually came across a client just last week through a program that I run, through a federal government program that I run. And there was no photos of her on the internet, but 3 photos were on the internet of other people attributed to her name. So if you clicked the photo, you actually went through to a piece of real estate that was actually owned by this person. So like a social media presence, which was that person, but there was never any photos. So Google had actually attributed 3 other faces to her thinking it was her. So one of the problems is there was no other photos to prove Google wrong. So this is what can happen if you aren't showing up online and if you aren't naming the photos that you are uploading, or if you're just never uploading photos of yourself. So that's the first suggestion. But talking about Google, my second suggestion, regardless of whether or not you have a website, do you have a Google My Business account? Now, it's known now as what is it? Business Profile Manager. Used to be called Google My Business. It's Business Profile Manager now. But the name may have changed and a few features might have changed, but Google My Business is still a really important part of your online presence, your Google presence. So if you haven't already set up a business profile in your Business Profile Manager, then I'd suggest that you Google that. Go to Google and literally type in how to start or how to create a business profile manager, and it will walk you through the steps. Like I said, the features may have changed, the name may have changed, but still, episode 85 of this podcast is worth a listen to go back and have a listen to all the things that you could do to up your profile on Google by using this particular feature that Google offers you. So, no matter what size business you have, this is super important and something I would highly encourage you to go and do. And if you're thinking, now, Jen, I'm pretty sure I set up a Google My Business profile like years ago, or 12 months ago, or 6 months ago. Perfect. So, my challenge to you is to go back and make sure all the information is still correct and to actually start posting to it like you would a social media and upload some new photos if you haven't touched it in the last few months or so. So, making sure that you're doing that. My third tip for you is basically to show the heck up. Have a photo shoot. Take some photos of yourself. Do some videos. Do short videos, long videos, fat videos, skinny videos, small videos. do voiceovers of the posts that you put on social media. Contact your local newspaper or your local radio station and get some free PR for your business. Get your voice out there, get your face out there. Get them to do a feature of you. Go back and have a look on all your social media presences that you have or your profiles that you have, and have a look at the bios. Do you need to change your bios on social media? Check the about section on your website if you have one, or if you do have one, make the about section of your website actually about you and your business, and tell us stuff. Tell us stuff about you. Tell us stuff about your team. Tell us stuff about your business. I cannot stress this enough. We need to show up. Slowly but surely, we need to embrace showing up more often, not only for some Googleicious love, but so that people like me can feature you, so that other people can learn more about your business. It is that important. So, my challenge to you today is firstly to go and Google yourself. Go to Google or whatever platform you use to do your searches. Um, Go to Google and type in your name, see the results, and then type in your business name and see the results. Make sure you click images as well, to check what images are out there, and make sure that all the images that are attributed to you and your business are actually about you and your business. But have a bit of a look. What did you find? Did you find loads of stuff when you Googled your name and your business name? Did you find nothing? Did you find barely anything? Did you find odd stuff that really shouldn't be there? Really, regardless of the results of these searches, I really want you to embrace showing up. I really want you to embrace that other people will be looking for you on Google or on social media. They want to get to know, like, and trust you. So you need to embrace showing up. I want anyone who is looking for your face or looking for the face of your business to find you easily. I want anyone who wants to write a blog or an article or even a social media post to promote your business to be able to find out things like who you are, how long you've been in business for, what you sell, what are you passionate about, and what do you stand for, and of course, how they can buy from you quickly and simply make yourself easy to buy from. Perhaps in one or two clicks, they can find out this type of information. And if they can't, then as a business marketing strategist, I have to say that you're not doing your job well enough as a business owner. Saying you're too busy to market your business, to show up for your business, too busy working in your business to work on your business just doesn't fly in 2023. We are beyond that. Your community is beyond that. And frankly, you are beyond that as well. So, as this episode is actually titled, this is my plea to you. Please make getting to know, like, and trust you simple. Please make buying from you simple. Please make knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what things we have in common, as in customer and seller relationship. What do we have in common? I want to know this. People do business with people that they know, like, and trust, but they also do people who, believe what they believe, who have the same values as them. If I can't find that information out, then it's awfully hard to do business with you. So make these things simple and easy to find. Do we have a deal? Fabulous. I really hope that we have a deal. Do you want I would love to know your thoughts on this matter. Um, you know, let's get in touch. Get in touch with me via the Facebook group, Like Minded Business Owners. You can send me a DM. You can send me an email at jen@jendonovan.com.au. But I'd really like to know, is this pushing you out of your comfort zone, or are you just not really aware of how little there is out there about your business, and perhaps a little bit unaware of the importance of showing up and building community and building know, like, and trust with your customers, old, new, and future customers and clients as well. Tell me it all. I would love to hear from you. But that's it for episode 246. I hope that you did find this episode valuable. I hope it gave you a nudge in the right direction. And if you are showing up gloriously all over social media and in your Google searches, then pat yourself on the back. I commend you, and I love that you are embracing the fact that you are the face of your business. So do a happy dance. Let me know. Maybe even send me an email or a message with the happy dance happening. I would love that. If you did find this episode valuable, then I'd love for you to take 30 seconds out of your day and leave me a rating and review if you can do that where you listen to podcasts. But that is all for today. I will see you next week on episode 247. Thanks again to Cloud House Consulting for sponsoring today's episode. Don't forget about their ebook. That is a reference guide to everything to do with business, including like GST registration, employment basics, cash flow, and budgeting. Of course, you can find that ebook and everything to do with Cloud House Consulting at all the W's, cloudhouse.consulting. But in the meantime, if we're not social on social, come and find me. I would love to connect with you. But whatever you do, remember, my small business peep, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
No time like the present. Tell it like you feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.
I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Yorta Yorta people, on which I record this podcast and conduct my business today, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I extend this respect to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today as well.